Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're talking about a comic book channel, specifically Momo Ono Collects, a newer comic book channel that I have subscribed to. He just came out with a video that I thought was excellent, to put it mildly. The algorithm kept saying, hey, you need to watch this video, and man, it was right. This guy, he had kind of like eye-catching thumbnails, but honestly, I kind of judged the book by his cover. I was looking at this guy, he kind of looked like a young guy. And no offense to the young guys out there, but the comic book hobby, people that are older and a little bit more seasoned, I kind of gravitate towards because they seem to have been through the trenches. But man, I was totally wrong about this guy. This guy looks like he was the kid that could shoot the milk out of his nose, and he was also the kid that could like control his submandibular gland duct to eject saliva on command. That's literally what he looked like. I thought that was that guy, but it wasn't that guy. This is Momo Ono, and this guy knows about comic books. So let's take a look at his most recent video here and react to it.
If comic books are good investments, maybe they'll make it rain like a millionaire, or maybe it'll actually leave you broker than your family does after Christmas. Well, as someone who's invested hundreds of thousands of dollars, spent over $150,000 on their comic book collection, and who's sold tens of thousands of dollars worth of comics, I'm going to tell you from my experience, I do not think comics are a great investment, and I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why I think so in today's video. Honorable mention, no revenue. Now, clearly, I'm no financial advisor. If I was, I wouldn't be making comic book related content on YouTube.
I think that's what you are.
So don't take my opinions as financial advice. In my experience, though, I have not thought that comic books are great investments because they don't produce revenue. Now, I promised you big Grail books. Let's start off with a banger. That would be Wonder Woman #1. Yeah, this is an amazing Golden Age book. But back to investments, Merriam-Webster defines investments as the use of money for revenue or profit. And so half of it right there, revenue, aka passive income or money that's coming in without you having to do additional work. This book looks great on the wall. It's a great conversation starter. It's a great display piece, but it's not producing me any passive income or any revenue. So half of the investment, source right there, the revenue part, comic book's not doing anything for me. Time and effort. Now, we've all heard the saying that time is money, and that's true, because there's only so many hours in the day to bring home the cheddar.
Money back up.
And that's one of the big reasons why
do that again.
I haven't experienced comic books being a great investment, is because the amount of time it goes into actually treating them as an investment. So that couldn't be any more true with this book specifically, and that is Brave and the Bold #28.
This dude's got books.
And as far as time and effort goes, this book took me a year and a half to acquire since I started looking. So a lot of times comic book investing, it's about a lot of work and a lot of time spent actually acquiring investment grade books. I've been using or spending doing income generating activities, right? I could have been working or doing a side hustle and earning money rather than spending time not earning money. Does that make sense? Risk. Now I know what you're thinking. Momo, there's risks in any investment you make. And you'd be right.
This guy sounds like a robot.
But the reason that I put this on this list is because I believe the risk with comic books is not only more magnified, but also there are lots of unique risks that you get with comic books versus other type of investments. Let's break that down. So when I mean magnitude of risk, when we look at the overall marketplace for comic books, it's a lot smaller than other investments. If you look at real estate, S&P 500, businesses, even other commodities like oil, lumber.
Let's talk about lumber.
All those investment categories are much larger markets. So when a disruption happens, you can think of it like throwing a rock into the ocean. When a disruption happens, it's not going to have as big of an impact as a smaller market, like throwing a rock into a little pothole. That's going to cause a lot more disruption. Comic books have no inherent value as far as economic value, practical value.
They mean something to me.
What I mean by that is other commodities like gold, silver, they can be used in electronics, jewelry, lumber's used to construct, oil's used for fuel, right? Even other alternative assets like cars, right? Those have practical value. As fact, if you can still use the vehicle, you can still drive it. That still provides economic value to you. Whereas comic books, they're great display pieces, but at the end of the day, they have no
What about reading
intrinsic practical economic value to them besides that they're, discretionary expense, they're entertainment. Liquidity. Now that's a fancy word for how easy it is to cash out or sell your asset. Obviously, the more liquid, the better, meaning the easier it is to sell and the quicker it is to sell your asset, the better, because that money you can actually then put to use. The longer it takes to get your money back, not only can you not use that money, your money is also devaluing in the form of inflation. So in investment terms, not good because your money is losing value. And the reason liquidity has been such a problem in my experience with comic book collecting is really because of this issue right here. And this is Wonder Woman, Sensation Comics number 6.
No big deal.
This is the first golden lasso of truth. It's been very hard to sell. And that means my money is trapped. I can't use it to buy other comic books or other investments. And every day that goes by, the money that I have in this book is actually going down with the market and, again, with inflation. Because it's a physical asset, not a digital asset. Digital assets you can transact instantaneously, very easily, right? I can sell my stocks or transfer my bonds or, sell my gold certificates much more easily. Expense.
This
Comic
guy
books
does
are
presentations
incredibly
for like
expensive.
Ford
Am I
company.
right? My wife reminds me every day. And case in point, I brought a really expensive book. That would be the back of it. Detective Comics number 140. This is the first appearance of the Riddler. Wow, another big first appearance key. This book cost $10,000.
What do you do?
So yeah, very hard for people to get started investing and to actually invest in comic books when they are so expensive, especially investment grade books, which are graded copies, high graded copies. And this book cost me $500. So $500 still not cheap, right? For investment purposes, especially considering you can buy, silver at like $20. You can
buy no gold with $500. I'll tell you that.
You can buy Hanes stock. We all know Hanes Clothing Company, Michael Jordan mascot.
Don't bring MJ into this.
The other cost is, which is a big one, is when you go to sell the book. Tons of fees, right? You have to pay a consignment fee if you're consigning. If you sell it on eBay, you're paying a huge fee to eBay to sell the book. You're shipping it yourself. You're paying for the shipping most likely. You're also spending money when you buy the book, like on taxes, right? So a lot of investments, when you purchase it, you don't pay tax as opposed to comic books. And when you go to sell it, you're not paying, fees to sell the investment. So those added expenses like storage. Number one, I'm going to hold on to these things.
He's going crazy.
Literally, guys and gals, I'm never wanting to sell these books. Investments like comic books where you don't make money until you go to sell, if you don't have the will to sell, those aren't ever really good investments because you never even made any money or capitalized on them because you never sold them. And that's definitely going to be me. And that's a case in point with this book right here. This is Tales to Astonish number 13. Actually bought this book for $6,000. And the last recorded sale as of filming in a 6.5 is like $8,750, I think. So I basically, in theory, could sell the book for thousands of dollars higher than I spent. And guess what? I haven't done it. I have no intention of doing it. Not only do I love this book, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. It completes my set. Again, I just, emotional attachment, want to give it up to my kids. I'm never going to sell these books.
All right, so that was Momo Ono Collectibles or Collects. Is Momo Ono like giving presentations to Fortune 500 companies? I think maybe. At the minimum, this guy is some sort of financial investor. He works for like Mass Mutual or something. I don't know. But this guy knows what the heck he's talking about. This guy also puts his money where his freaking mouth is. A lot of people can talk till they're blue in the face about comics and investing and yada, yada, yada. But this guy has got $10,000, $6,000 books. And whenever somebody is put their money where their mouth is, I'm probably going to listen. I don't know how old this guy is. I would assume he's kind of close to my age. but he is wise beyond his years. And I'm taking this video not only from like somebody that is trying to invest in comics. I'm taking this as somebody that buys big comic books. Like, regardless of whether or not, you're wanting to sell them one day or whatever the case may be. I mean, if you're in the market for buying big comic books, there's a lot of what he's talking about here that I think is vital. And a lot of it, it's like when he says it, it sounds like common sense, but it's not. The way he's putting it, he's dumbing it down for a schmuck like me who's not a financial guy, obviously, that I really think that this guy knows what he's talking about. I think he's on to something. Some of the major things he talks about is how hard comic books are to sell. That really was what stuck with me, and it's so true. When you have something physical, it's not something that you can just flip that easily. You have to find a specific buyer, and the pool is so small that, and it's getting smaller seemingly every day because of all the people that have left the hobby, the new collectors. So it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. It's harder to find a buyer for certain books. And in the books that he's got, these Golden Age books or really high grade Silver Age books, I mean, how many people out there are capable of buying that? I know I'm not. And if I am capable of buying it, I mean, I'm way too scared to be buying $6,000, $10,000 comic books. I just can't justify it. I can't rationalize it. The time it takes to go find these books and hope that you're getting the right price. I mean, you could be doing something else other than doing that. You could be reading your freaking comic books, one. And he just talks about so many important things that people that think that they're going to get rich quick, or, this is something to hide money in, to evade inflation, or, hide it from Joey B and his clown crew. I mean, it's not going to happen. Like, the longer you have your money tied up in these things, the longer, the less and less it's going to be worth. So you better freaking love your comic books, because if you don't, you're in the wrong thing, in the wrong business. I'm going to keep watching Momo Ono, and I think you guys should too. I think he knows what he's talking about. He has a lot to say. And these smaller channels, these newer channels that have come out, these are the channels that I gravitate towards. These guys, they've not been bought or sold. They're saying what they want to say. They're saying it from a place of passion, from a place of non-influence, in a sense of, the information they're putting out is on their own volition. Take it or leave it. And I really enjoy these channels, and I think that he should grow it, in my opinion. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If at any point in time you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.